My name is Rio Kiri, and I want to tell you guys how Amazon is definitely a thing in 2025. I have some students that sign up with me and they ask me the same question. Rio, do you think Amazon is still going to be a thing now? I thought it was something that was pretty popular back in the day. 2025 might not be the time for Amazon. And I tell them no. I tell them Amazon is something that I don't think is going to go away anytime soon. It is here to stay. So here I'm going to show you guys proof of how Amazon still works. So I'm going to show you my screen, show you my personal data so you can see proof or what supports the fact that Amazon still works in 2025. So I see how some people ask me questions. They have long faces. They're like, oh, Rio, no, this is not going to happen. This is not going to work. I'm going to this business. I have a lot of doubts. I have a lot of, is this going to be possible? Is Amazon over? And I tell them the same thing. It is here to stay. I'm going to show you proof. So the rumor mill is churning. It is grinding. It is out of the narrative. People are just, spreading rumors. Amazon is not something that will work right now. And I tell them, no, it is not. Amazon is not dead. So I'm going to show you my screen, show you my real data, telling you how it's going to be here for a very long time. So in 2025, it is not the time for the graveyard of Amazon. It is not. It's actually getting much better because there are new innovations. So it is the genesis of the next evolution. That's what 2025 is. And that's what I think what's going to happen. So sure, the landscape has definitely shifted. It has changed. Now we have AI involved. There's a lot more competition. Competition is fiercer. Costs have risen, with the tariff that came and kind of like went away. That was a problem. So the old playbook they used to have in 2020 and before just doesn't cut it anymore. But saying that Amazon is dead, I don't think so. You just have to make sure you adapt to those changes. You have to make sure you have innovations that's going to stand the test of time. You cannot do what you were doing before. You have to make sure that you're on top of your game. You are bringing in new innovations to your products. So if you want to launch new products, you have to do that as well. So let me show you raw data and a little bit about myself. So my name is Rio Kiri. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey. I started my journey back in 2020, and I have seen almost everything that could go wrong on Amazon within my past 5 years. I've seen so much. So I've been selling on Amazon for the past 5 years. And here are my stats. All right, so now I'm going to show you raw data like I mentioned earlier. Here on my screen is my stats for 2024. As you can see, this was January all the way to December. And I made 7 figures. As you can see, my ordered product sales, it's 7 figures. There was an order of 66,000. So I have a lot of products on my account. I have at least 20 products. So that is not unusual to have that many sales. And also the order items were 56. So there's a little disparity between the sales and actual orders. Of course, on the back end, you can, figure that out through the data. So now you can see over here that for 2024, it was a pretty good year, and 2025 also. So what I noticed that some students that I teach, they're like, oh, I made $1,000 or maybe $300,000, right? You make that amount of money, and then your A costs is super high as well. That's not a good thing. Your A cost is the amount of money you spend from your sales that goes into your advertising. If that is above 30%, you have a problem. So let me show you how my A cost was just for this past month. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit so you can see it. All right, so you can see over here, my A cost is 24%, which is pretty good. So the A cost, again, shows how much you spend from your sales that go into your advertising. So you can see I spent $18,000 and my sales was $73,000, which is a pretty big chunk if you look at it. But the reality is that 24%, I only spent 24% of how much I sold on my actual advertising, and that's a good place to be. So this was for January this year to June. If I can move my screen over here, you can see even more all the way to June, and it shows all those numbers. So if these numbers are real time like today, so what does that prove? That Amazon does work, right? It does work, and it will be challenging. I'm not saying it will be challenging, but know that It's working for people and it will work for you. So the truth that in 2025, FBA just requires more from you. You need to have more strategy. You need to have more data-driven apps or more data-driven decisions. You can't just make decisions off the top of your head. You have to be more laser focused on the end goal, not just the end goal, but on the customer. So the customer is number one. You can't just slap a product on a listing and expect them to be, have great sales like you used to do back then, because the competition is way more steep. So your sales are only going to roll in if you do innovate. So you need to dig deeper and have a good understanding of the nuances that's happening in the market. Whatever market you're in, you're going to make sure that you're a master in that market and you're going to deliver exceptional value. Anything you're bringing onto the Amazon space has to have value. The first question to ask yourself when you're bringing a product is that, how much value am I offering? Am I just going to do like a copycat? You cannot do that in 2025. So think about it. Amazon's massive customer base isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Amazon is the largest e-commerce space in the whole world, period. And that's unparalleled logistics, the kind of network Amazon has. That is not vanishing and that is not going away. Not anytime soon, at least a couple more decades. The convenience of having Prime, for example, you go to your front door, you see packages you ordered literally 12 hours ago sitting at your front door. That is massive. So the trust built that Amazon has had over the years is still there. The trust for Amazon is not going anywhere. The infrastructure is solid. The opportunity remains boundless. People are making 6, 7, 8 figures on Amazon every single month. I'm going to show you the stats in another video. So what has changed, if you want to ask the question? Okay, all that's happened, so what has changed? So what has changed is that the landscape has changed. AI isn't involved, so you have to learn AI. You have to change as well. You have to become sharper, smarter, more agile. You have to embrace the changes. You have to embrace data. You cannot just be doing the same thing you were doing before. You have to learn how to optimize your listings to the fullest capacity. Make sure you build brands that people can identify with, people can resonate with. You have to leverage all the tools right now that's going on, all the AI tools, all the tools available, any kind of PPC campaigns, social media marketing. You have to make sure you have influencers on board, because that's a big thing. TikTok is a big thing. So you can leverage influencer collaborations from TikTok and transition that to Amazon. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that on another video. So you also have to find out about your niche. Like I said, be a master at your niche. Find unique ways of selling. Do not just slap on a product and sell what every other person is selling. You have to find out, what is the problem? What am I solving? What is this product going to help someone with? What value am I offering my customers? What value am I providing? If I'm not offering value, I've lost. You have to be able to connect with your customers in a way that is very, they can relate to. You have to build a community. That's why branding comes in. Have a brand, have that community, have that people be able to foster loyalty. Because once you foster loyalty with your product, people can identify you or identify your brand and they trust you, literally the sky's the limit. So this isn't the time to retreat. This isn't the time to say, okay, I'm not going to do this. This is time to double down. Try to innovate, make attempts to innovate, make sure you can rise to the challenge, because 2025 would be challenging and going forward because there's a lot of advances now. The FBA rush might be over or might seem to be over, but the era of strategic dominance is not going anywhere. It's going to be here to stay. The strategic dominance era is actually just starting. So let's not mourn the past. Let's not talk about the past and say, well, Amazon is something that's gone. No, let's try to build a future. The future of FBA and the future of our legacies or our successes is today. So I'm just here to encourage you and let you know that yes, there is value with Amazon. Again, there's no way it's going to go away. So thank you for listening to my YouTube video. Again, my name is Rio Carey and I'm an Amazon seller. And if you want any tips, stick to this channel, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be here throwing nuggets every day. Have a good day. Bye-bye.